One thing I've noticed specifically, this is about Sheila Johnson, her style is no nonsense, no theatrics, no trying to grandstand to see if she can get the soundbite, which cable news will get, or somebody will pick up what she has to say on social media. She is always about the discussion underhand, really has an air of empathy when dealing with very emotional subjects, and likes to stick to the facts.
Of questioning.
As a mother, I would like to begin by offering my sincere condolences to Ms. Dunn and Ms. Nobles for the devastating losses that they and their families have experienced. No amount of sympathy and thank yous can compensate for the loss. No one should ever have to experience the loss of a child. So please know that we are committed to making our community safer and combating the heinousness of drug trafficking and other violence that comes for those that should not be in this country and should not take advantage of the innocent people who are here, which includes your children. Mr. Chairman, the stories of Ms. Dunn and Ms. Nobles are gut-wrenching. They are clearly, for any of us, we cannot stand in their shoes, no matter how much we try to empathize, try to seem like we are standing in their shoes, try to use language that would create hysteria to seem like we have the same pain. No one can express the pain that a parent that has lost a child can feel. It is gut-wrenching. But you brought them here, unfortunately, where our solutions may not be the solutions that they seek. Under the false pretense that impeaching Secretary Mayorkas would be in any way prevent what happened to their children from happening to someone else's. It wouldn't, and I think you know that. What is worse is that the Republicans on this committee are not leveling with Americans about the actions that they have taken or not taken to secure the border and combat drug trafficking. The truth is, at every opportunity, Republicans at the federal and state level have pursued politics over policy and obstructed efforts to improve conditions at the border. We need more resources. We need more skilled personnel. We need more ways to keep bad guys out of here to ensure the protection of the innocent, precious children of these two mothers. In Washington, all but 9 of my Republican colleagues voted against the FY 2023 omnibus, which provided much-needed increases on Customs Border Protection funding to increase personnel along the border and improve fentanyl detection. Republicans have refused to act on the president's supplement request, sitting right here, waiting for us to act, which would provide additional resources, not only for CBP, but also for communities receiving migrants. And instead of considering policies to improve security along the border or prevent drug trafficking and treat fentanyl addiction, we're willing, or sitting here today, at a futile impeachment proceeding. We need to give hope to these parents. We need to give love that shows action. So let me quickly ask Professor Pearlstein. Republicans have argued that the secretary should be impeached for failing to secure the border, yet most of them have voted against funding for border security that the administration requested. If Republicans really wanted to secure the border, is it more effective to provide the funding that the administration has requested or to impeach the secretary? Let me add this question as well, if you can incorporate both of these. As I noted, the governor of Texas has blocked Border Patrol from entering areas along the U.S.-Mexico border. If Republicans really wanted Border Patrol to improve enforcement along the southwest border, does it make sense to exclude Border Patrol from areas surrounding the border? In fact, we lost a mother and 2 children just recently. Do you believe a state can do that under the Constitution? Thank you, Doctor. This question is for you.
Thank you, Representative Jackson-Lee. I can't speak to policy effectiveness. It is certainly within Congress's power today, and the Republican side as well as the Democratic side, to vote appropriations that would actually support programs for fentanyl addiction and programs that would support families who've lost loved ones to any of these. I can't speak to the details of what's happening on the border today, but the general rule of the Constitution is federal law under the Constitution is the supreme law of the land. State efforts to interfere with federal efforts to enforce border laws are unconstitutional.
Let me just quickly say, Mr. Chairman, this impeachment proceeding is not going where we want it to go. We want to help these parents. We want to cry out for them, but we want to give them solutions. We want to focus on a border security mission with the resources that Congress has afforded the department and within the confines of the law. My Republican colleagues would rather deprive DHS of the reasonableness and resources it needs to carry out its border security mission so that it can attack the Secretary, who himself I've seen show great remorse for the losses of individuals. Impeaching him, is that the answer to saving our children? I would hope that we would come together, stand together, to be outraged over the loss of anyone's precious, precious child, and stand united as the American people to fight against this dastardly act of drugs and viciousness at the border and make our borders safe for Americans and as well as those who come to this country for the right reasons. All of them are our neighbors who live in the southern part of the United States. They are our neighbors, and we should try to find a way, but we should not ignore the pain of these parents. We can do both, and we do not have to make a mockery of impeachment. We can work with the Department of Homeland Security and our Secretary of Homeland Security and this president who cares. With that, Mr. Chairman, I yield.
The gentlelady yields. I now recognize Mr. Higgins for his 5 minutes of question.
Ladies and gentlemen, brace yourselves for a race featuring a motley crew of desperate losers and shameless con artists. It's a spectacle so astonishingly lacking in integrity that you won't believe your eyes. And off they go, with Nikki the diplomatic Gillette and Haley prancing around like a phony diplomat who can't even negotiate a discount at the local market. But wait, here comes former guy Trump desperately trying to relive past glories and making promises that only a true master of deception could conjure up. Will this towering ego get him across the finish line? Chris the bridge to know where Christie is lagging behind. His Two-Face is still stuck in the traffic of his own failed political career. And Pence remains as indecisive as ever, pondering if he should even be in this race. But lo and behold, a hold it says to the Arkansas Alibi. Hutchinson desperately clinging to his southern charm, hoping to distract you from his questionable track record and boring ass of bullshit. Meanwhile, Ron, the catastrophic clown, DeSantis is causing pandemonium at every turn, proving that being an utter disaster can still gain you supporters in the world of politics. Will he woke off before the final furlong? Then there's Tim Nice but deceptive Scott, the slick talker, who's more concerned with appearances than substance, willing to spin any tale that'll get him a vote. And former guy Trump, of course, reappears with his endless stream of falsehoods, like a snake oil salesman hawking miracle cures. But hold on to your sanity, folks, because here comes Vivek, the vexing visionary Ramaswamy, Cupid's stunt horse in this race of charlatans. He's peddling innovation and fresh ideas like a true snake oil salesman. And who knows what kind of bizarre venture he'll announce before the race is over. As they stumble toward the finish line, who is going to be the front runner to appear Fox Daily pushing out lies and fears, the crowd can hardly contain their disbelief. It's a spectacle like no other, a parade of desperate losers and shameless liars vying for your attention and, more importantly, your vote, then instantly forgetting you exist. So we need someone? Anyone I can't spot one winning? And there it is, folks. Tim Nice but deceptive Scott manages to cross the finish line last, leaving in front a trail of half-truths and empty promises.